Okay, in this video I'm going to build on the harmonizing that I was doing in the previous video. If you remember, I was just focusing on making a bass line to go with a given chorale melody and simply adding chords in the right hand. This is the simplest kind of ad hoc harmonization technique that I know of. But it's also quite interesting to make in a way to explore the contrapuntal relationships as we move through the melody. And the way I do this is separate this 4-voice texture into 2 voices in one hand and 2 voices in the other. Now, in the previous harmonization, I was just having 1 voice in the left hand, and that's my only calculation was that bass line. So I have perfect consonants going to perfect consonants. Now if I was to add chords to that, it would be that. If I separate the voices, it would be this. We carry on. This is much more complicated to think about than the previous version, but it's nice because it explores the contrapuntal relationships. I now have, in a way, two independent kind of relationships, whereas before it was just the bass and the treble. I now have an alto and treble, and with that comes a tenor and bass. Fuchs's principles, going in contrary motion, sometimes in oblique motion. And some in contrary motion. And it's a very nice way of changing the focus, but it's a conscious decision to change the focus from something very simple to something quite complicated, but in order to explore expressivity. I wouldn't recommend this way of harmonizing for a fluent ad hoc harmonizing, but it's very nice practice for exploring the contrapuntal relationships within harmony. One way we can find a way of making good decisions within this way of the 2 voices and 2 voices is just to find chords that are spaced nicely. There's lots of choices. We have that. Chords. And all different kinds of voicing can work, and I advise you to experiment with all of them, because beautiful things can come out of methodical variation. Okay, so happy harmonizing.